Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at this Waterfly Kung Fu backpack. So, we're just going to take a quick rundown of all the features of it, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth of how everything about here works. But basically, this is kind of what you get in the package here. You get a nice little carrying pouch. It'll help you protect your investment, keep it clean, keep it dry. And then let's get into the good stuff here. Taking a quick look at the front of it. Obviously, we have this bungee material here, and there's also a pretty large pouch here as well for whatever you might need access to right in the front of your bag. And then obviously here we have kind of the main attraction of it, if you will. So basically the idea behind this is that you can kind of move it up and down and, you know, expand your storage or whatnot with how full you're putting the bag. So obviously we have the strap here. And the top of this is just kind of a harder plastic material, and it kind of just clamps together naturally, and then we can say, you know, our bag's really full. Let's just fold it once. This will obviously, you know, seal it out from any dust, dirt, rain, whatever. And then, you know, we can kind of cinch it down a couple times, you know, if we got a little bit less that we're carrying. It doesn't have a ton of room, you know, from here to here. So, I mean, you're expanding it, you know, a good 5 inches or so of extra space in here, which is pretty nice, and it's definitely a unique style. And let's flip around to the back here. So as you will see, there's obviously a fair bit going on here. Pretty standard in terms of the straps. Good adjustments, everything you might need from them. Hook on the strap here. The whistle as well on the strap end. There's a whistle right here, and it's actually pretty loud. That wasn't even giving her the full beans, but you get the point there. It's a neat little add-on. And then we have a phone pouch here. It's not big, like if you got one of them big, bulky, gigantic phones in a big case, it's obviously gonna, you know, be pretty tight for that. I prefer to leave my phone in my pocket unless, you know, I'm really working my legs or something and I don't want them in there. But it works beautifully as a sunglasses holder, which is more or less what I would use it for. And then there's like a little pouch in front for, you know, a couple smokes or a pack of gum or whatever you might want it for. And yeah, we can completely remove this if we don't want this on here. And then the back side here, there's I don't really know if there's anything you could do with that strap, but it's kind of a decent material actually. It's harder plastic to protect your belongings, but it's still flexible enough that, you know, you can move around and do whatever you need to do. You're not going to have to worry about, you know, carrying this brick on your back or anything. It's quite nice actually. I do enjoy it. And the padding as well, it's reasonably thick, so it's, you know, it's not going to fall apart on you. The material all around this backpack seems to be pretty sturdy. I can't say how well, you know, it's going to hold up with time, but just basic first glance, it does feel fairly well built actually. A lot better than, you know, the entry-level backpacks you would buy at a store or something like that per se. Moving on to the right side of the backpack, there's a few compartments over here. This zipper is going to give you kind of access to the main compartment here. This one on the side is, it's not super big. It's its own separate little thing, so it would be good for, you know, things if you just want to reach around and kind of, it's good enough you can reach around and grab it with your hand and zip it back up. It's not quite large enough for my phone, just barely. If your phone is a little bit smaller, it would fit in here, but, you know, obviously your imagination is whatever you want to use that with. And then here on this side, we have a very large pouch. This is also a separate pouch. I think it's believed called a tablet pouch. And, you know, it's a nice material there, and this also has the solid backing there, so it's going to protect your devices as well if you want to put a tablet or, you know, some papers in there or something like that. So now let's move on to the main attraction here. So we have a few pouches here. Kind of the forwardmost back pouch is the laptop pouch. And then inside there's a, it's quite the large cavity. And this backpack does stretch very well. So you can, you know, barely put anything in it and it won't feel super loose or sloppy. Or you can pack this thing right full and it's still going to maintain its shape, and it does stretch a fair bit. I wouldn't say this is like a, you know, travel across the world kind of backpack, but, you know, it's a great day-to-day backpack or hiking or camping or whatever you want to say there. And then on the inside as well, we've got you know, nice little nettings for putting certain things here and kind of, you know, keeping them from moving around in the bag. I'll break out the flashlight here so you can actually kind of, you know, see what's in there. There's a zipper compartment down at the very bottom, and obviously this was this netting material I was talking about. There's like a little loop there for a pen or whatever you want to put in there. There's that laptop pouch. And yeah, it's very nice material actually. I'm very impressed with it. Just feels very premium, and it's fairly thick as well, and it's kind of double walled, if you know what I mean. So it's going to protect, you know, very nicely against the rain and protect your belongings from getting damaged and what have you. But now let's put some stuff in here. So we didn't pack this thing right full, but it's pretty full, and we can kind of see how the bag expands a fair bit. And it definitely does stretch. I won't deny that. I would say that's a fair bit. Like I said, it's not a full-size, gigantic bag, but you know, a day-to-day bag that, you know, you're gonna put maybe a change of clothes, a few little supplies here and there, basic things. You'll be fine, you know. And there's still a little bit more room. I didn't pack everything full, but just to kind of show you how this bag does kind of look full here. And the back does stay flat, so you know, you're not going to have anything poking you in your back or, you know, anything like that. And you know, it does pretty well. Like the zippers, the only thing I can say really is the zippers aren't going to perfectly seal, but I guess if you put them at the bottom, you're not really going to get anything in your bag in terms of water. I mean, be practical with what you're doing with your bag. And the stitching here, kind of on the side here, it's double stitched from the inside and the outside, but it does look like, you know, if you pack this thing full enough times and you're really reaching on these zippers, these could possibly start to stretch a bit. But that's just a quick observation here. But overall, let's just start dumping some things out of it. So as you can see, I just about packed it full to the top here, a little bit of space, and we're still able to fold it and then kind of cinch it a bit so watertight, dust tight. You know, and we'll pull some stuff out of it here. I did put a fair bit in there. I got all those rags in there. I got a full mat in here, and then I got a tool case in there, and in there as well was my laptop. So, I mean, you can see for yourself, you can fit a fair bit in there. That's equivalent to, you know, everything that I need to put in there. I mean, that was quite a bit of rags, let's be real here. And the last kind of part I want to talk about, which is pretty important, is the water pouch. So I have just kind of a decent sized water bottle in there. I could fit a little bigger in there, but not much. A little bit taller perhaps, but not a lot wider. It's just, you know, kind of your regular flask water bottle. If you got one of them big jumbo water bottles, you're probably not going to be able to squeeze it in here, but stuff like this is fine. Water bottles are fine. Even the bigger water bottles you're going to be able to fit in here. So that pretty much concludes this video here. It's a pretty decent backpack overall. It's a very nice premium feeling backpack. The size is, you know, fairly decent as well. It's, like I said, it's not a very large backpack, but you know, for a day-to-day trip or whatever you want to be doing, this is more than enough space. Or using this for school or whatever, it's going to be great. And yeah, I don't really have a lot of complaints about it. If you guys are a little bit more experienced at backpacking than I am, you can obviously drop any, you know, things you might be noticing in the comments. I'll have a link to buy this or check it out on their website as well if you guys are interested. I'd like to say thank you to Waterfly for sending this bag out. Pretty cool to try it, and I will definitely be using it myself for quite a few years to come, I hope. And that concludes this video. Thank you guys all for watching, and see you guys later.